visit it. And I get to come back and see a young man. At the beginning of last season, they said, what do you hope for this show? I said, we had the critical success 25 years ago. What I hope is that Grant, walking into a world in which comic books have exploded mainstream, can have the popular success that we just missed, and it's wonderful to see him having it. They say the difference between last Comic-Con and this Comic-Con is that they're all rock stars now, and it's fantastic. I feel very paternal, in a way, maybe because I've been, I know what he's going through. He knows I know what he's going through. Those scenes with Henry and Barry, we just pretty much have to show up and talk to each other,
A number of actors from the original Flash series have shown up on the new show. Is there anyone you would like to work with or anyone you would like to see on the show who hasn't been on yet?
What would your answer be?
Alex Desire.
Thank you. That is exactly what I was going to say. I would also love to see Megan Lockhart. I adore Joyce Heiser. We did a 25th anniversary of the original show with Mark Hamill, and we screened the 2 Trickster episodes. Andrew Kreisberg was there, Danny Pilson, Paul DeMeo, who I understand may be writing an episode this season. Am I supposed to say that? I don't know.
So you've gotten to play the voice of Professor Zoom in Brave and Bold. You've gotten to play the Flash, and now you're playing Henry. Out of the 3, which do you prefer, villain, hero, neutral?
Well, I think there's more to Henry than we know.
Okay.
And people say, even if I had never played Barry, I would want to play Henry Allen. Because the way they're writing him, he's textured, he's layered, there's a lot of conflict there. When I heard about the new show, and I heard about the way Jeff Johns had blown up the Allen family, Emmett Walsh was not wrongfully convicted of killing Priscilla Pointer in front of a 10-year-old me. That just blew my mind. And I thought, well, if they come to me, that's the role I want. And that's the role they came with.
When you read the season finale, were you sort of hoping Barry would change the past and give you a whole new dynamic to play? If there was no...
From Henry's point of view, well, you raise a curious point. Why? I have questions, and they're unanswered, so they're not rhetorical. Why does Henry immediately, as soon as he hears about the man in the yellow suit, he's not curious about it? He doesn't ask any questions? It's like, no, don't go there, don't move on. As soon as Barry comes and says, I can change the past, I can get you out. No, you mustn't. You can't do that. He doesn't ask him what happened when he went back to the scene, So I'm kind of hoping that, that we're going to find out that there's more to Henry than we've seen so far. And certainly they've indicated to me that there's a lot more that they can and will do season 2. I don't mean in terms of number of episodes I'm going to appear in, because I think they got it just about right last year. I don't want to be hanging around going, hey Barry, going to work today? Are you going to the Crime Lab? But the way they've used me has been so respectful and meaningful to bring me in at peak emotional moments in the episode when Barry needs to crumble, when he needs to let his guard down. He comes to his dad. Very interesting thing, and I'm doing run-on answers here, I'm sorry, but observe the difference in the way Grant plays his scenes with me and the way he played his scenes with Jesse. Both father figures. I raised him from 0 to 10. Joe took him from 10 years old to adult. Look at the qualitatively different. He's a little boy that moment when he pulls off and reveals in the Trickster, and he looks at me like, "Whoa, Dad, look what I can do," It's that's a sign of a fine actor,
Talk about where your character picks up at the beginning of season 2.
In jail.
What's his state of mind with everything that has happened? Does he know?
That's a good question, and we find that out sort of where he's at with all that pretty early on in the season opener. Of course, I can't tell you how. I was surprised by a choice that Henry makes right off the bat, but I understand it now, and what more could you hope for? We want to surprise the audience. We don't want the audience to be able to get one step ahead of us and predict what we're going to do. So I know that was a intentionally vague answer, because I was at Cape Girardeau Comic-Con, and I thought Legends of Tomorrow was common knowledge, and I dropped that name casually in a what is that, Q&A with like 200 people and someone was videoing it. And I get Suzanne Gomez, John, we haven't really released the name. I'm like, so I was intentionally vague there.
In the Tricksters episode, they had stills from your Trial of the Trickster episode.
Isn't that cool? Did you notice the Shirley Walker sting?
Yes.
The music?
Yeah.
Well, do you have a theory as to who beat James Jesse the first time around in this new show's universe?
Do I have a theory about who beat James Jesse?
Who put him in jail? There was no Flash in his world.
Well, but he went to jail. Well, no, I never questioned that, but I guess I patched from 1991 into here. Nobody tricks the trickster. Nobody. I mean, when he's dislocating his shoulder, throwing himself up against the padded walls of the padded cell. I figured, of course, Megan Lockhart. Who else?